I'm in Earth School.
Yeah,
this is what I call this place, where we learn about
that's
what
right.
what does forgiveness look like.
Yeah, isn't forgiveness difficult, right? Forgiveness is a very difficult thing because in the dynamics of forgiveness, in order to be in a position where you have to forgive someone or you need to forgive someone, it means that you ultimately have to take responsibility for whatever the abuse was that was done to you. So most people are not really willing to do that. Without, what shall we say, a little bit of prodding and cajoling. It's forgiveness is especially, if you consider a dynamic where, you were beaten or you were raped or you were injured in some sorts of ways, then it's very difficult to forgive a certain dynamic like that. And the only way to really begin it is you have to divide it. Forgiveness is divided into two sections. Forgiving the person or forgiving yourself for what was done, and forgiving yourself and the other for why it was done. Now, it might be easier to forgive the dynamic of why, because generally speaking, it was done to them in some way, shape, or form. So they learn the dynamic of being abusive either through the dynamics of their own childhood, their own adolescence, their own experience with others that led to that negative, traumatic energy being sealed into their being until they are made so uncomfortable by it that they are forced to change or that they choose to change. The situation is one that it's tough to, you can sometimes forgive the why, but the what, the what, the actual pain, the actual rape, the actual dynamic of energy. And sometimes it is very difficult. You can understand why they might be angry, and you might understand why they might be enraged, but you also understand that you did not deserve it. In other words, you didn't do anything that, in fact, except choose to be there in that dynamic of reality because there's something for you to learn from it. So here we have a situation where usually on the very traumatic dynamics, these are pre-life agreements that you make with others. That they're going to give you this opportunity. They'll give you this opportunity to move, to grow, because it is an opportunity for growth. And that's the biggest part of forgiveness, is to realize that you gave yourself this. Now, if you do not understand, if you have not learned anything from the experience, but we would suggest to you, even in these most difficult of experiences with people, and we're sure our audience out there can give us 100 awful examples of the dynamic that are, everyone would agree would be unforgivable, but ultimately, what did that experience make you? Who did that experience make you? Now, you, dear one, are on the other side of the dynamic. You have made those choices necessary to step away from it, so you have begun to step into a more positive reality. But remember how hard it was to take those first steps.
Oh, goodness. Yes. Excruciating.
Really?
But I did it.
Really. And you, in your reality, you had to get so uncomfortable in your reality that it forced you to move. Now, you have a very good and a very strong interconnection with your higher self, with soul, with spirit, with God, Goddess, all that is. And because of that, there has been this inner longing, this inner desire to be more. And that's exactly why you came in. is to have traveled through this whole dynamic of abuse, this whole dynamic of abandonment, this whole dynamic of betrayal, and to come out the other side a strong and powerful woman, willing to stand on your own 2 feet in a world that is full of chaos. And yes, you will be one of those that keep your head while all around you are losing theirs. And that's why you're here, dear one.
It feels good that I came in to break a lot of generational, energetic. There was so much
exactly
pain, and I was thinking, wow, when you're on the other side, you kind of forget what it's like to be here. It's real easy to say, yeah, I'll volunteer, but I also know that I did it knowing full well, and I'm stubborn, and I love people.